Let me start off by saying that of all the non-alcoholic alternatives I made on the channel, this one is my favorite. Today we're making Zero Rum, and with it we'll make a non-alcoholic daiquiri and a Cuba Libre. Worth watching? I'd say yes. We already have a list of zero-proof ingredients on the channel, but rum is missing on that list, so let's fix that today. Before we do, subscribe below and hit the bell icon to get notified about new episodes. And if you know somebody that you think would like non-alcoholic cocktail, send them this link, or better yet, surprise them by making what I'll show you today. It's mocktail time. If you're not a fan of the term mocktail, I'm in the same boat, but wait until the end of the episode to learn about when it was first used. Now let's start with Zero Rum. As with previous alternatives, I based it on the recipe from this book. Zero, a new approach to non-alcoholic drinks. This recipe is aiming at an alternative to a Spanish-style rum, which I liked, but still adjusted slightly, based on some testing. Here are the ingredients you'll need to make it. 600 grams unsweetened coconut water, 50 grams of sugar, which will caramelize, 400 grams of water, 6 grams of cacao nibs, 2 grams of nutmeg, 20 grams of fresh orange peels, make sure they're organic, and 1 gram of a vanilla bean. If you'd like to mimic the taste of a blackstrap rum, you can also mix in 5 grams of molasses to have 100 grams of your finished Zero Rum. Once you have all of your ingredients weighed out, you'll want to slightly crush the cacao nibs and nutmeg. I like to use a mortar and pestle for this. This will increase the surface area and they'll give out more flavor. For the same reason, let's cut a vanilla bean lengthwise and scrape out some of the seeds. We want all of this to be ready, because we'll have to add it to the caramelized sugar quickly. So add the sugar to a pot and place it on a medium heat until it gets nice and brown. Make sure you don't burn it though. We're looking for those nice caramel toffee notes. Once you're there, let's add all of the flavoring agents we prepared before. So cacao nibs, nutmeg, orange peels and vanilla. Toast them for about 10 seconds, then pour in the coconut water and water. Stir this constantly until it gets up to a boil. Once it reaches the boiling point, turn off the heat, close the pot with the lid and let this infuse for 1 hour. That's basically it, a really simple process, and like mentioned before with molasses, you can use this recipe to tweak it to your own liking. After 1 hour, it's time to filter out our Zero Rum. I'll be using a coffee filter. Since we don't have any alcohol in this to act as a preservative, you should of course keep this in the fridge and use it within a few days. So feel free to make a smaller batch or add to smaller bottles. Don't fill it all the way up and place it in the freezer for another time. Now let's give it a taste. The color is surprisingly close to what you'd expect from an aged rum. The aroma is caramel-like, full, and you get a hint of spice. The taste of our Zero Rum is on the sweeter side and nutty, with the overall profile closely resembling a lightly aged rum. I'd say this is an excellent substitute. With that said, keep in mind that even the best substitute, homemade or store-bought, will fall short on the characteristic burn you get from alcohol. But even so, I have really high hopes for this, especially mixed into zero-proof cocktails. So let's make two, starting with probably the most famous rum concoction, the daiquiri. As with the classic version, this will be a shake and drink, so grab your shaker. Then let's go in with 3 ounces or 90 ml of our Zero Rum. We need a bit more than with its distilled cousin, so the flavors doesn't get lost. To that let's add 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of lime super juice. And to balance it with sweetness, half an ounce or 50 ml of simple syrup. Alcoholic or not, 2 drops of saline solution will always make the flavors pop in your mixed drinks, so let's add that. Fill the shaker with ice and give it a quick shake. Not so much about dilution, but we do want that aeration that comes with a shaken drink. Double strain into a chilled coupe glass and optionally add the garnish, lime wheel or just a twist of the peel. I'll give this a quick taste before we mix something else. Spicy and citrusy aroma with nutmeg and lime leads into a refreshing drink with notes of coconut, spices and a great balance of sweetness and lime. Like I said, it doesn't have the alcoholic burn, but with knowing that, you're not sending this back. So a Zero Daiquiri works great. But before I make and try a non-alcoholic Cuba Libre, here's something else you could combine with our Zero Rum. We actually started this series of zero ABV replacements on our channel by making non-alcoholic bitters, and I used them to make an old-fashioned with zero whiskey and a Zero Manhattan with non-alcoholic sweet vermouth. Zero Rum would work in both for a funky version of those mocktails. As for the Zero Cuba Libre, we'll of course pair it with lime, coke and a bit of saline solution. I'll build this straight in a highball glass, starting with 3 lime wedges, which I'll muddle to release the lime juice and the essential oils from the peels. Now it's time for a non-alcoholic Spanish-style rum. Again, 3 ounces or 90 ml. To make the flavors pop, let's add 2 drops of 20% saline solution. Now fill the glass with ice and top it up to the brim with your choice of cola. Extra points if you make this yourself as well. I'll link the episode for that in the description. To mix the ingredients together, I'll just leave the cocktail slightly with a bar spoon. For garnish, add another lime wedge and that's it. With lime and coke on the aroma, your mind is already expecting a Cuba Libre and you won't be disappointed. It's perfectly refreshing, even hinting towards the already mentioned Kevin Cola, with all the spices we added to our Zero Rum. If you're staying away from alcohol, you need to try this. With that, we reach the bottom of the glass. To finish things off, I have 2 fun facts about Mocktails. First one is about that term, which I always considered a bit unflattering. But according to Merriam-Webster, the term was first used more than 100 years ago, in 1916, so just before the prohibition in the US, which makes sense. But even before that, you could find these boozeless refreshments in cocktail books. The Bartender's Guide from Jerry Thomas. This edition is from 1876. Has a 15-recipe chapter, with what he then called temperance drinks, from lemonades, soda nectars to ginger wine. If you made it to the end of the episode and saw the cocktail book, add a book emoji in the comments. And check out this playlist for more zero-proof ingredients. I'll see you next week with more cocktail recipes. Cheers!